Okay, so it's already been a month since Kevin Durant got traded to the Suns, but he's only played 3 games, going 3-0. As many people, including myself, have predicted, injuries could be what holds KD and this Phoenix Suns team from winning the franchise's first ever NBA championship. Alright, Phoenix haven't had it easy. They've been hampered by injuries and currently sit at the 4th seed in the West, while their 2 star players, KD aside, in Devin Booker and Chris Paul have missed a load of games this season. The West is looking more and more competitive with teams like the Suns, the Mavs, and the Lakers all strengthening this season, let alone the Nuggets who are dominating the West. But to make matters worse, KD recently picked up an injury in the pre-game warm-up in the Suns' game against OKC, which has been confirmed to rule him out for at least 3 weeks. Make no mistake about it, this is a win-now trade. So Phoenix and their new owners have to get this absolutely right in order to win a ring, which is essentially why they've made this trade. Before everyone comes at me, let me give Kevin Durant the praise he deserves. Before the trade, KD had been averaging nearly 30 points, 6.5 rebounds, and over 5 assists per game for the Nets. And yes, he comes with championship winning experience to a team that reached the finals in 2021. I need to make it clear that Kevin Durant is without doubt one of the most talented players we've ever seen in the history of the sport. This is a 13-time All-Star who averaged 32 points a game on near 50, 40, 90 splits in his MVP season and finished as scoring champion in 4 separate years and won 2 NBA titles with 2 finals MVPs along the way. And yes, he's joining a Suns team that tends to be pretty good when healthy. They finished first in the West with the league best record of 64 wins and 18 losses last season. And for the 139 games Booker and CP3 have been on the floor together, the Suns have gone 112-36, a win percentage of nearly 76%. So on paper, this trade definitely makes the Suns the favourites to at least come out of the West. But it's not that simple. So the Suns sent over Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks, and a 2028 pick swap to the Nets for KD and TJ Warren. I think Monty Williams here perfectly puts into words what both Bridges and Johnson meant to the team.
Those two are near and dear to my heart. They literally are like my family.
Yeah, these two clearly meant a lot to the team and may well have left a void in the locker room. Cam Johnson came off the bench averaging 12.5 points, shooting 42.5% from 3 last year, and was continuing that form for the Suns this year. But Mikal Bridges, this is a player who, including in the playoffs, had played 400 consecutive games in a row for Phoenix, obviously an NBA record, and has proven himself to be one of the best two-way players in the entire league. He finished 2nd in voting for Defensive Player of the Year last season, and is an overall efficient scorer, with the 7th highest true shooting percentage in Phoenix history at 61%. And just look at what he's been doing for the Nets this season, averaging 26.5 points and shooting threes at 48% at 5.5 attempts per game. The Suns haven't just lost a role player, they've lost a star, and one that is always available. Speaking of availability, this is a 34-year-old KD that hasn't played over 60 games in a season since the 2018-19 season at the Warriors. With or without KD on the floor, the Suns lack defense. Look at previous NBA champions. The Warriors have had Draymond Green, a one-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. The Bucks had Giannis and Drew Holiday, whose defensive accolades speak for themselves. The 2020 Lakers had AD, who finished 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year that season. And not only is Mikal Bridges one of the best defenders in the league, he is also pretty much the most reliable player in terms of his fitness and availability, which KD is not. So you've given him out for a superstar, yes, but one who's been hampered by injuries for the last couple of seasons. Okay, and aside from the whole team's lack of a major defensive presence, who is to say that this big three will be any more successful than KD, Kyrie, and Harden at Brooklyn? Okay, you can argue that we didn't see enough of all 3 of them together on the floor, as they only played 16 games together for the Nets. But who is to say injuries in the playoffs won't stop these guys too? Each one of them have had their fair share of injuries this season. And look, this is not a Chris Paul in his prime either. This is sadly, a Chris Paul that is no longer consistently available and is on the decline. KD's recent injury, alongside the injuries CP3 and Booker have already experienced this season, prove that you cannot bank on them all being fit in the playoffs. And these first round picks the Suns have sent over to the Nets are from 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029. These guys have sacrificed a vital piece of their defense as well as a large portion of their future for a championship this season or the next. And that's even if KD chooses to stay with them beyond this year. To call this trade a gamble is an understatement. And guys, this is a season full of contenders. In the West, you've got a Denver team that is finally healthy, with Jokic averaging a triple-double and Murray, Gordon, and MPJ proving their worth as valuable pieces around him. You got a Mavs team, who now arguably have the most skilled duo in the league in Doncic and Kyrie, and the Clippers led by a resurgent Kawhi Leonard with Paul George and Russell Westbrook alongside him. And then you got a Warriors team led by Steph, who could easily turn their form around come playoff time, and the Pelicans team, who with a fit Zion, could also cause more than a few upsets. And that's without mentioning the competition in the East, where Giannis and the Bucks have been dominating the entire league in recent weeks. And Tatum, Brown, and the Celtics have consistently taken the team to new heights. And then the Sixers, who have an MVP level player in Embiid, and arguably the best second option in the league in Harden, who is dishing out over 10 assists almost every other game. This is the most competitive the NBA has been in a long time. Okay guys, if KD can actually stay fit, then the Suns have the potential to be absolutely lethal. Despite everything I've said, it wouldn't surprise me and shouldn't surprise anyone if they go ahead and win the whole thing. But KD's recent injury has proven that it's not a game over scenario for the rest of the league. This is a gamble that needs to pay off for the Suns in the short term, and a gamble that also relies on the trio not only to mesh well together, but also to be fit and available come playoff time. And this is also a gamble that has seen the Suns sacrifice valuable pieces of their team, as well as valuable components of their future. Let's see if it pays off. If you guys enjoyed the video and want to see more NBA content like this on a weekly basis, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.